I get the question almost every single day when I'm talking to people. If I've introduced myself to somebody and I say I'm in real estate, if I'm talking to my neighbors, how's the market, John? Well, that goes pretty deep. You have to talk about several different things in the real estate market right now. There's not a general answer to that question. So I wanted to talk to you maybe about what people are ideally thinking when they're asking that question. But my name is John Bice. I'm with eXp Real Estate here in the Manatee, Sarasota County area. We market heavily to baby boomers who are retiring and moving here. And now, baby boomers, the older baby boomers, are starting to sell their larger homes and downsizing or possibly moving into retirement communities. So, if you're in our area and you're thinking about buying here, or selling your home, we would love to talk to you. If you're looking for information about the current real estate market, what's happening in it, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. I put out a video just about every day about the real estate market, how to improve your property, if you're going to sell it, just all kinds of things. New communities that are popping up over in the Lakewood Ranch area, Del Webb communities, whatever it may be. So we're here to provide information for you. So how is the real estate market? Well, the first thing that comes out of my mouth is, are you getting ready to buy or to sell? So the hardest thing to do in this current real estate market is to convince people that it's not 2022, it's 2026, because they have the hardest time understanding that our prices in this area in general went up about 40% during the whole COVID crisis and everybody rushing to Florida, losing their minds, paying hundreds of thousands of dollars over asking price, just doing some crazy things. So we've settled back down. We are still settling down and getting back to a normal real estate market. So some of the things you have to consider is inventory levels. Where are we? I've heard different numbers. I personally think we probably got a year's worth of inventory, where 6 months of inventory is normal. So why it's so high is because builders keep building. I just sold a property for a guy that does land acquisition for a builder. And he told me, he said, John, with the cost of the land, the cost of supplies, the cost of labor, we're having to give away incentives to get people to look at our properties. He said they're breaking even right now, the builders are, but they keep building. That's the thing that I'm befuddled by it, because you would think that they would slow down, but they are under pressure to acquire more land and keep building. So yes, our inventories are high, but the market is actually good. I read an article today about the luxury market, completely unaffected by what's going on by those people who have unlimited funds to come in and buy a Gulfront condo, a home on the beach or on the water. So that market is still very strong. But when people are asking me about the market, some things that most people are talking about, I made some notes. Should I wait? Is it a good time to sit back and see what the market's going to do? Well, I always tell people, buyer or seller, you're waiting, and there's a million other people out there waiting as well. So if you're waiting to sell and the market turns and it gets in a positive direction away from the buyer's market that we're in right now, well, guess what? There's a ton of other people that are going to throw their home on the market as well, because they heard the same news. So you got to price right. You go on the market. You got to market the home correctly, but mostly put the correct listing price on the home. I always use the example. If I bought Microsoft stock and I have no idea what the price of Microsoft stock is, let's say I bought it at $500 a share, and it's now trading at $425 a share. Could I still sell it for $500? No. So you have to know what the market is bearing right now. You have to get out of your mind where prices were. You're not taking a loss from where prices were in 2022 if you didn't buy in 2022. I've seen that example where people did that. And yes, they've taken a loss to sell their property. But if you've owned your property for 10 years or 15 years, prices, rocketed up, but now they've come back down. You're not losing money. It's just where the market is right now. So you have to know that. Same thing with buyers. You have a ton of things to choose from right now. So you have to really be laser focused on what you're looking for. It's crazy the amount of stuff out there right now. And you can go out and look at 75 different homes that are close to meeting the criteria of what you're looking for. But be laser focused. What kind of community are you looking for? Are you looking for gated community, golfing community, 55 plus community? Are you looking for something that's on a lake, has to have a pool, doesn't have to have a pool? All those things, and then start narrowing your focus down, because you can continue and continue and continue to look at properties and you'll never buy anything. All right. So that's very important. Is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? Yes, both. It's a good time. I'm just going to say that. Do you think rates will come down? Well, I can tell you, when I bought my first home, now this is in 1994, my interest rate was 9.25%. Never blinked an eye. Just said, yes, we were just ecstatic to get that home. So we're probably in the low sixes right now. Will they come down? Yes, they will. If I knew when they were going to come down, I would be making a lot more money than I'm making, but interest rates will come down. But that then increases our market again. There'll be more buyers in the market. There'll be more listings coming on the market. So that timing thing, I never see it work out perfectly. Are sellers finally getting realistic? Well, that depends on the seller. I have the hardest time with people who knew that in 2022 that Zillow put out their Zestimate on their home and it was $800,000. And I walk in now and give them hard statistics on price per square foot and tell them 675,000 is probably where your home will sell for, maybe 665, maybe 685. And people are just dumbfounded. They just cannot believe it. But again, some of these people have owned their home for 20 years or more. It's not like they had $800,000 invested in the property. So yes, if you had sold back then, that's great. But the question during that market was, well, if I sell, where am I going to go? Because I'm going to have to go and pay that inflated value for another home. So people didn't sell. They sat back, they waited, and now it's a good time to be selling. I've gone to communities in the last 18 months where there was 40 homes on the market. Now you go to most of these communities and there might be 6 or 7 homes on the community that are on the market. So again, every community is a little bit different and you have to evaluate that. You might have 15 homes on the market. The Del Webb out in Lakewood Ranch, 55 plus community, I've seen that fluctuate from 35 homes down to the current, I think there's 18 homes on the market in there right now. So we've had some people take their home off the market. We've had some homes that have sold in there. So it's just a very different market and you have to be very aware of what's happening with it. What are they really asking for in these questions that people are asking? What are they really trying to say? Am I going to regret this decision? If you are a seller, I'm going to tell you, typically the real estate market goes in 7-year cycles, and we're in a down pricing cycle right now because we were so grossly overinflated. So If you think waiting until next year, your home is going to be worth another $100,000, don't, because it's not. We're going to see our prices continue to slide down as our inventory level stays up. If you are a resale home and you're competing against new construction, we see this a lot in the Welland Park area. We see it in Parrish. We see it in Lakewood Ranch, that you've got a home that's 7 years old, and a couple miles away, they can go buy a brand new home that may be a little bit more, but new roof, new air conditioner, new appliances, new everything. So you have to be aware of that too. What is the resale market? What is the demand for the real estate market? What is the price per square foot in the real estate market within your community? Okay. The reason Zillow is so wrong, they say they're wrong like 60% of the time. My house would be a perfect example of it. I'm in a community that's not gated. A half a mile over from me is a community that's a gated country club community. So when Zillow does their Zestimates on my house, they're pulling comparable sales from that community. And I'm not a gated golfing community. Now, we are a golfing community. You don't have to belong to the country club. We don't pay dues to the country club. We're not a gated community, but that community that's near me is. So that's the reason that Zillow's Zestimates are wrong so often. If you're reading the headlines or listening to the news, it talks in general about the national real estate market. Now, I can tell you, I talked to some people in St. Louis not too long ago. Their real estate market was like ours was in 2022. It was on fire. They couldn't keep homes on the market. Things were selling like incredibly fast. And now I don't know if that's still the case there, but this is probably 4 months ago, maybe 3 months ago, and it was just crazy there. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, we've got more inventory than we can deal with. Things have slowed down, and they were completely on fire. So again, you got to be very central on what you're looking at. You can't base your decision on the national news saying that, New Jersey is crashing, California is going crazy, St. Louis, and you just can't do that. You have to really research the market in the area that you're going to. A knowledgeable real estate agent will be able to tell you these things. So, what else? So, these things absolutely matter. So, when you're making this decision, you need to talk to your agent if you're buying or selling about the things that matter to you. Is it timing in the selling? Is it what you're going to net from the sale of your home that matters most to you? You can't go into this market as a seller and say, well, I paid this amount, so I need to sell for that amount. Or I need this much money at closing. That's where I'm going to price my home. You can't do that. You have to have, again, a knowledgeable real estate agent telling you, these are the facts. This is what's happened over the last 60, 90, 120 days. Don't look back 6 months. Don't look back a year, because that was a better market, completely different from where we are right now. So you have to know the most recent sales, things that compare, compare to you in size. And don't look at your neighbor that sold 18 months ago and their home was, 30% larger than yours, and they sold for 700,000, and you don't have a pool, you're not located on a lake, and you want to get the same price as they got. You can't do that. So you have to statistically look at where you are in the market. What affects your payment as a buyer? I talk to people about this when they're purchasing new construction, they're building from ground up. What are things that you can wait on to do aftermarket unless you want that to be part of your mortgage payment. An example would be I was working with some clients looking at new construction. They were ready to move forward. We're going to do the pool afterwards. And the builder came back and said, we'll, give you more incentives if you'll do your pool during the construction process. So they agreed to it. But then the contractor came in for the pool company and said, we want an additional $50,000 deposit to do your pool. And they were like, wait a minute, what? So they backed out and said, nope, not going to do that, because they can go buy a market resale home, all the same upgrades with a pool on a lake, comparable price. They don't have to go through construction. They don't have to do additional deposits. So those are all things that you have to consider. So things that will affect your payment on your home. So those are very important things. Your leverage as a buyer and a seller, you got to know. Again, that's going to be determined by your particular community. Do you have leverage as a seller because there's not a lot of homes on the market? You might be the Del Webb that's in Parrish, Del Webb Bayview. The builder wasn't offering pool homes at the time when that community was being built. So we have a buyer that's buying a pool home in there, and it's a rare thing. There's not that many pool homes in the community. So that's leverage as far as the seller goes, because they can price that home for a pool home. It's a lakefront pool home. It has an easement next to it, so it's an exceptionally large lot as well. So they were able to price it according to all of those things. And our buyer came in, loved the home, and we're under contract on that. So those are just a few of the things that when people are talking to me about how is the market, John, what's going on in it, and those are the kind of conversations in general that I try to talk to them about. But the most important thing for you as a buyer or seller, is this the right decision for you? Okay. Is this the timing for you? Is this the financial commitment you want to make, whether you're, again, a buyer or a seller? Because the sellers, you have to know the price that you're going to sell for. Remember, when you're talking to a real estate agent, don't listen to the highest list price, because they're going to come in and what I call trying to buy your listing. They're going to say, let's list it for $750. And then 45 days later, we need to lower the price. And then another 3 weeks later, we need to lower the price. And then they finally get it to $699 and you sell for $675. So talk to the real estate agent. What do you believe, statistically wise, what do you believe my home's going to sell for? But people always hear that highest list price. I lose listings all the time because I'm going to go in realistic and tell people, here's your highest price per square foot. Here's your lowest price per square foot. Here's the average. And where does your home fit in there? Let's look at some pictures. I've got my laptop here. Let's look at some of these homes and see how they compare to you, and let's price it accordingly. Don't listen to that person that comes in and tells you another $80,000 higher than what the home should sell for. Okay. Again, I hope this helped out. How is the real estate market? That's some idea of where it is right now. It's not bad, actually. We're doing very, very good. So if you have questions, you can reach out to me and I'll do my best to answer real estate questions for you here in the Sarasota, Manatee County area. I can't tell you about New Jersey. I can't tell you about California. I can't tell you about New York. I don't know any of that stuff. But I can talk to you about real estate here on the Suncoast and give you some ideas. Okay. Again, if you don't mind, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. My cell phone number, 941-962-7443. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to help you buy or sell real estate here on Florida Suncoast. Thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you on the next video.